All right, good morning, everybody. Joe Perfari here with Igor Henriquez, Brandon Grab, and Rob Tassone will be joining us soon. So Saturday, November 27th, we're going to do a quick recap of Week 11. And Brandon, I guess the game that we talked about most last week was Aaron Rodgers and the boys taking on Minnesota. And that was a wacky finish. And we were talking in the group chat about that one, and Minnesota pulled it off. But what a finish.
Yeah, COVID-19, man. Aaron Rodgers played pretty well, to be honest with you. And Kirk Cousins, right? He had 21 touchdowns now and 2 interceptions, something like that. 18. It doesn't matter. He's playing. No one cares about it because Kirk Cousins. It doesn't really matter. He's just going to have another season where they go to the playoffs and lose in the semifinals or in the first round. But no, that was a great game. Great game in Minnesota. I knew that the Vikings were due to have a game and get like that against Aaron Rodgers and those guys. So I believe I covered with the Minnesota Vikings pick. I know I didn't switch back and forth. I think I stuck with the
You had Minnesota. Yeah, you had Minnesota.
Okay, perfect. So I covered there. Excellent. That's all that matters. And Aaron Rodgers is going to go on now. They're going to run the table for the rest of the year, and hopefully run the table for the rest of the year. But that was a great game, man.
And what about Cincinnati? You want to talk about them? Win against the Raiders, big win.
Hey, that was a big win against a team that was going through a lot of emotional turmoil. But no, Joe Burrow played well. The line played very well. I'm really impressed with the line. And, of course, getting the ball to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and the defense playing up to what they could be. I think it was more so the offensive Las Vegas just being so out of whack. They picked it up this week, but they're so out of whack last week. So, no, great win by my Bengals, 32 to 13. Deservedly so, as I picked them. So, another win for me. Thank you. I definitely made up for it in the past few weeks. But, yeah, man, that was another good game to watch. Another positive week.
And Igor, your Patriots 25-0 against Atlanta on the Thursday. How are you feeling about them now with the matchup against the Titans we're going to get to?
Well, the matchup with the Titans, sorry to tell you, Joe, but at the end of the day, considering they're, no A.J. Brown, no Julio, no Derrick Henry, I don't know how you guys are going to manage the points over there. But you know what? They're playing some really solid football, and it's going to come down to them and the Buffalo Bills for the division. I didn't think that they had I thought they were going to be third behind Miami. I was expecting maybe a 500 season at best, but they're progressing well. And if they win, which I'm assuming they probably do win, considering all the Titans' injuries, they're going to be in a really good spot. I mean, it's going to come down to the Bills games, and the Bills, they looked good against a hampered Saints team that didn't have their 2 top running backs and a host of injuries, but. Yeah, it's going to come down to that basically. But I'm liking the opportunity to hit the playoffs again, after that 1-year hiatus. So I was also thrilled that the Cowboys lost. Come on now.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, that's back-to-back losses.
Yeah. Well, again, I jinxed them last week. It worked out perfectly. So, yeah, I know that was pretty that was a little bit of a surprise. I think that was the only really surprise on Thanksgiving besides, Matt Nagy not getting fired. But I'll let Brandon get to that. So. At the end of the day, they barely squeaked out a win against a terrible Lions team that, blew the game with, calling 2 like timeouts at the end. Like it's just a disaster zone of coaching all over the place. Like, and I think Dan Campbell and Nagy might be 2 of the worst coaches in the league, if not the 2 worst coaches left. So.
Did Campbell call it? I feel like a coordinator did. I feel like there was a defensive.
As the head coach, I guess you got to fall on that sword. I believe it was the coordinator, but yeah, the 2 timeouts thing basically just gave the Bears a chippy, and I think that might have given them a first down because it was a penalty, or it literally gave them a layup to continue going. It was a terrible call.
Yeah, they probably would have lost the game anyways, but I hear.
But again, Nagy's got 9 lives. But like I said, that's Brandon's little setup, so I'll let him do it. But he's definitely got 9 lives.
Fire Nagy.
I heard that was happening at his kids' game. They were chanting "Fire Nagy" at his kids' high school game.
That's a little bit too far.
That's a little something for sure. But no, as for the Pats, it's looking good. I got my Pats swag on right here. So yeah, we're good with that.
And I was just going to say the other games that we circled last week. So there were 2. One was the Cincinnati and Vegas, and the other one was Arizona and Seattle. Arizona won again. And I guess we're looking at Russell Wilson in Seattle saying that the writing's on the wall. He's still injured. Seattle's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I will say I was again. I had Mr. Ivermectin as my lock of the week, and he let me down. But as soon as he scored too early, I knew it was over. It was a great pass. I'll give him credit. It was a great pass. I think it was to Scantling, but he scored way too early, and I'm like. The way that defense is playing, it's going to be a field goal. The Vikings games are always down to a field goal. I think I've been stating that throughout the whole situation. So I knew he scored way too early, and they were going to lose the game, and that's what happened. So
well, if Amos catches that ball, then it's a totally different story. If he intercepts that ball and actually brings it down, then that game would have been over.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't hit my over.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. But hey, Joy, how do you feel about your Titans going against the Texans right there, man?
Not good, because, and I'll tell you why, because there's just too many injuries. And when they went into the Jets and they lost, the Jets, I think, was my lock of the week for the spread, which I think at that point was only 6 points, adjusted because they had no weapons whatsoever. At least they had Henry back then. So you have no Derrick Henry. They cut Adrian Peterson, who I never liked that signing anyways. And then, Julio out, AJ out. There was another, I think their fourth string wide receiver done for the year. I believe it was an ACL or a hamstring injury. So he was on the IR for the second time this year. It's tough. And when you look at the Saints, like I had the Saints against the spread on a small ticket that I did against Buffalo. And when, you're missing, they're missing two running backs. Thomas has been out all year, and then going back. When you don't have weapons, it's tough. It's the point I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. And that's especially going against the Pats and that defense. It's going to be tough. But these are the situations that the Titans typically do good in, when everybody's kind of counting them out. Not the ones where they're expected to be Houston or the Jets. It's usually when they're dogs is when they really do well. But it's going to be tough without it. But let's get into that game first, I guess. So Tennessee's taking on New England. And Igor, let's go to you first. Let me know what you're thinking about this one. Do you have New England by 7?
Yeah, so like I said, we with so many injuries and so forth, and like I know how you said that the Titans usually do well. The Patriots are off of a Thursday nighter, so they're well rested. They do have some injuries. I think Harris has a neck injury. Ramondre Stevenson's dealing with something as well. But the Patriots are just on a roll of momentum, and the game would be much different if the Titans had everybody at their disposal, even if they had, let's say, like AJ Brown. But I mean, it's going to be a lot on Tannehill's shoulders. I think Bill's going to game plan for a lot of that. You're going to relying on Dante Hilliard. It's a touchdown spread in a road game. I'm taking my Pats to win that game with the spread of 7 points.
Brandon?
Hey, the Titans have a 2-game winning streak against the Patriots. If you guys didn't know that, Vrabel always coaches very well against the Patriots. But of course, it's too many injuries. Of course, you have Nick Folks injured. You have some other guys like John Smith, who does a really pretty good job in the play action game with Hunter Henry. But on that side, but on the Titan side, you have literally the entire roster is injured. So really, when it comes down to, I'm going to take the Patriots to cover this game. I think it's going to be more Damian Harris running the ball if he's actually going to be cleared to play, and Damian Harris on the ball and running Stevenson's out. I think Mac Jones is just, his timing is so good, and I think that he's going to kind of control the game. It's going to be kind of a low-scoring game, but I do see the Patriots covering.
Wishful thinking for me. I think the Titans defense really going to step up. It's the only chance they have to win the game is to really play some sound defense. Defense has come around. We've talked about it before. I'll take them to cover and hope for a win, but I'm going to take them to cover. Igor, let's go to Tampa. Tampa, a 3-point favorite going to Indy. Colts coming off a big win against Buffalo on the road. Nobody expected that except me. But Tampa Bay -3. Who do you like there?
That's going to be an interesting one because the Buccaneers are really good at stopping the run, and Jonathan Taylor's been destroying the league.
Possible MVP.
He's definitely a possible MVP. The Bills are really good against the run too, and he dismantled them. Again, the Buccaneers are coming off a good win against the Giants. It wasn't anything great on the Monday night, so it was a bit of a short week. I do like them in the game in a sense that I think that Wentz is kind of prone to making some errors, and that Tampa defense might give them some issues there. So again, I think the Colts are coming off a really big win where they're really feeling good. I'm gonna take the Buccaneers to win and cover the game though. I'm only getting 3 points. It's a field goal game. You know how I love those field goal situations. I'm taking the better team to win the game by a field goal.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way. You had me scared.
No.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go
Tom Brady. And Tom loves to put against Indianapolis. It's always that rivalry thing. I think Tom will be up for the game. So that should be interesting. Like I said, it's going to really depend on the Buccaneers' rush defense against Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if Vita Vea is back. If that's the case, if he is playing, that's a big situation there. But the Bucs do really do well against the run. So if they don't have Taylor, they're going to have to go to Pittman. They're going to have to T.Y. Hilton. But again, I think the Buccaneers are just a better team. I'll take them in 3 points.
I'll quickly take the Bucs. Tom Brady indoors as well, and I like Tampa there. Brandon.
I'm going to take Indy. I think Frank Reich is just going to be like, hey, hand the ball off. Try to get the ball going. Of course, running the ball. Establish that run first. I think Jonathan Taylor kind of continues what he's doing. And, at the same time, yeah, of course the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run defense is great, but they've been kind of banged up all year as well too. It depends on if Vita actually plays. But I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts to actually win this game. I think I'm going to go there, and that might be one of my locks of the week. We'll see. We'll see. But I don't want to trust Carson Wentz too much, but I just think this is one of those games where they're riding momentum. I think the Indianapolis Colts are one of those teams you don't want to play this time of the year. They're dangerous on both ends of them, both sides of the ball, especially their special teams.
Yeah, no, like I say it every week now as a Titans fan. Indy is a team that I respect, and they're good all the time. They start off a little bit slow. They're coming to life now. I expect them to be there. They might even win the division against Titans. If Tennessee loses again here, we have a conversation if they win this week. Let's go to the Jets are taking on Houston. Houston coming off a big win against the depleted Titans team. Tyrod Taylor back. I'll go quickly again. I like the Jets in this spot. I think a lot of people are going to be on Houston because they just beat Tennessee. But I think the Jets defense is going to be a very low-scoring game. I have the Jets to win this game outright, plus the 2.5. Igor.
Wow.
Again, I think Zach Wilson's coming back for this game. So that again, I don't know if that's a help or a hindrance to the Jets. I think Tyrod Taylor manning that Texans team. The Jets, again, usually away from home, don't play very well whatsoever. It's a 2.5 spread. I'm going to take the Texans to win the game and cover the spread. I think that Tyrod's going to again, he was really good last week. I was really impressed.
He's been good every game he's played.
Yeah, and again, I think that the Jets just don't travel well. And again, in a very small spread, I'll take the Texans to win the game and win by at least a field goal.
Before I throw to Brad, yeah. I always read these comments. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm looking at the score app. So there's one of them. This guy saying they didn't flex this game to Sunday night.
No way.
And then the other one is
that would have been the first
game of the week. I'm looking at it right now on the score app right now. They didn't flex this game to Sunday night. That's jokes. Yeah, the game of the week right here. I'm taking the Houston Texans to cover exactly what Igor said. I think they're just a better team, and coming off a big win. I think Tyler Taylor's the kind of man that. Why are we even talking about this game? Game of the week. Houston Texans
just
put it down.
Just make a pick and we'll move on.
Yeah.
Philly 3.5-point favorites. Philly, a team that we talked about early this season. Yeah, that we thought wasn't a very good team. They're coming back to life. And I was telling someone else, whenever you think you figured a team out, one of my rules in betting, I go the other way. I think everybody and their mom's going to be on Philly this week on the 3.5. I'm going to use Igor's train of thought here, where I'm going to take 3 points. I think that the Giants might surprise and win this game. It's a division game, and they're at home. Daniel Jones. I was watching Daniel Jones on the Monday night, because I told you guys I ended up hitting a big parlay, and that was my last game. He has the skills. He throws a good ball. The mental makeup, to me, not there. A lot of bonehead decisions. But he's going to bounce back, I think, and I think they're probably going to end up winning this game or keep it close. I got the Giants. Brandon, what do you?
I think that firing Garrett was the right move, because once again they showed Dan. Dan Orlovsky kind of points everything out. They had some play where they had 2 inside slot receivers running into each other, and then 2 flies. Where do you want Daniel Jones to throw the ball, right? He has no time to throw the ball. It's stupid route combinations. Doesn't make any sense to kind of exploit the defense. But I'm going to go with that being said, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to kind of continue the trend. They're kind of coming to life, right? Sirianni finally got his first home win in Philadelphia. Sirianni's going to be out here playing with the boys, and I think just Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith are finally connecting. 3.5 points, I think this is easy. I think I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to cover this game at 3.5.
Igor.
Usually I would go along with Jay's directive, but there's the Giants are going to be without Sterling Shepard. Kadarius Toney's also
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah. So the Giants are really again, slim pickings at wide receiver. They're pretty much going to have Golladay, who can't really be trusted these days for the most part. I think that Jalen Hurts is actually starting to really play very well, and he's going to give the Giants defense a lot of problems. And I don't know if they'll be able to keep up. Again, usually I would lean Giants because, again, that extra in division games and so forth. But I've bet against the Eagles all year, and every time I've done it, and they've kicked me in the ass. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles to win by a touchdown, because the Giants are just all over the map. Yeah, sure, you fired Garrett, but what's a couple days of a new offensive scheme gonna do? It's gonna take a while. Again, I'm just not buying it, especially with all those wide receivers injured. I'll take the Eagles to cover the game.
73% of the picks are on Philly. I'm going to circle this game for myself, because I think that this is going to be one of the shockers, even though it's only 3.5 point spread. Like I said, I think the Giants are going to win this game outright. It might cost a lot of people money on it.
I'm actually hoping that the Eagles win, because it would put some pressure on the Cowboys in the division to make that at least a little bit interesting as well, because then the Eagles will go to 6-6. So it make those games against the Cowboys interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what we're going to do? I'm going to take this clip right here where you just said you think that the New York Giants are going to win. Put it on your Instagram just to make sure once they get killed, put it on the Instagram and on the blog. Okay?
I'll post it. I'll post it. I'll post it after the show.
I don't know what to do with those stats.
I don't know what to do with those numbers.
I don't know what to do with that, man.
Carolina, Cam Newton and Carolina traveling to Miami. Carolina 2-point favorite. I'll go quick again. I like Miami here. I think two and the guys seem to figure out the short term. Cam's getting a lot of public money, and they haven't done the public well the last few weeks. 2-point favorite there. I think a lot of people are going to jump on Carolina, so I'll take Miami at home with that defense to bounce back. Brandon?
Yeah, I'm going to take Cam Newton to bounce back after
I knew you would.
loss last week. So I'm starting him in fantasy too because Patty Mahomes is out. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers 2.5. Remember, Christian McCaffrey's back. I know two of those guys are starting to figure it out, but I think this is a game where Cam's going to assert his dominance and kind of get that game right there. So 2.5 to the Carolina Panthers.
I'm going to post this clip too, Brandon. Igor,
there you go. Hey.
Well, this is a tough one because actually, like Brandon, I am starting Cam Newton all over the place because Kyler Murray's on bye this week in terms of fantasy. Yeah. So I'm gotta hope that the Panthers do well, but it's a tough one. I think the Carolina defense is doing is doing good things, but the Miami defense was really good at home against the Ravens situation. So, and again, very similar type situations. I do like the McCaffrey factor for the Panthers. It's a tough one. To me, it's a coin flip, but I'll take the Panthers to win the game by field goal.
All right, yeah. So Dolphins at 4-7. I thought maybe they were 5-6, but 4-7. You guys both have Carolina, Tennessee. We did. All right, Brandon, let's go to Cincinnati. So Cincy's at home, -3.5 to Pittsburgh. We talked about this one last week. That was I should have went 5 for 5 last week, but I jinxed myself. And the football god said, "Damn you!" 14, or it was like 21-point fourth quarter for Pittsburgh, all for nothing because Herbert and the guys came back and won. I'm gonna put a curse on Pittsburgh myself. I'm going Cincinnati. I take your boys -3.5. I'm assuming you're rolling the same way.
Smart, just rolling the same way. I think this is kind of like a little brother versus big brother. I think it's right now. It's time for the Cincinnati Bengals to become the big brother in that division, the AFC North. So I'm gonna take the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow. Zach Taylor, big game, 3.5 points. I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay, and Igor.
You know what? Usually, again, this one was where I would go my rule about the field goal situation. But again, I know Minkah Fitzpatrick is back for the Steelers. I'm pretty sure that T.J. Watt is not going to play.
No, he's not.
So I'm gonna roll with you two. I'm gonna say that the Bengals come out with a big win. They beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh already. By a couple touchdowns. So I think they're the better team. I think the defense will give Big Ben some problems. And yeah, at that spread, I think that the Bengals win by a touchdown. So give me the Bengals. I'm going to regret this next week, but we'll come back to it.
Hey. I'm looking at the Pittsburgh injury report. I don't even see Watt on the report here.
That might change my mind if that's true. Because I think Burrow, like I said, I was a little worried. I mean, I was watching the game and I'm like, oh, this is exactly what might happen. I'm like, Burrow's getting buried by a lot of sacks. That's one thing he's got to manage because he gets hit badly almost every single game. Like I worry about this guy, to be honest. He's really like pushing it, and man, he's gonna get seriously hurt if he keeps that up. He's got to protect himself a little bit better. And it's not even one of those blindside situations. It's literally like he's literally not getting rid of the ball quick enough to not get smashed up that way. But for Brandon's sake, I hope he fixes that up because he's not going to survive the season if that's the case. Because he keeps.
Hey, listen, he just can't tear his ACL again before the playoffs because I think that these guys will somehow make it into the playoffs at some point. Hopefully,
I'm more worried he doesn't break his neck the way that he's getting thrown around at times.
The O-line's awful, but he literally has 0.5 seconds to throw the ball. Literally at every try. I actually timed it too. He has no time to throw the ball. So. He has to fix it. There's sometimes he holds the ball a little bit too long, but hey, great time last week, and I think they're going to come right back down and beat the hell out of these guys. Mixon's been good.
TJ Watt not on the injury list. I just checked. No injury designation. He will play. I was going to say the thing with Cincy. You switch your pick?
I'm switching my pick to Pittsburgh.
Start rolling with the Bengals. Circle this game.
Yeah, I mean, again, if it was at maybe 2.5, but if Watson, I think Watt's just a big damn difference maker. He's great. If he's in, I think it'll be a field goal game. Give me Pittsburgh to cover then.
He is. It's just with Pittsburgh, I'm just they're going to score, but where are they getting these points from, right? I don't know. Smith-Schuster.
I'm big on Najee Harris and so forth. They got some stuff going.
Yeah, but they literally throw the ball 7%. Yeah, they throw the ball 70% of the time. So here we go. Oh, Gonzaga, big losses
look at that stash. Look at
Drew
that.
Timmy.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Drew
going on?
Timmy here.
The Fu Manchu?
Drew Timmy.
you got Jim the
Drew
Animal
Timmy,
Nighter.
exactly,
Jim the
coming
Animal
off that
Nighter is going to be
launch
coming up
yesterday.
here soon.
I was thinking Hulk Hogan, like more like
Oh,
the
yes,
Hulkster.
the Hulkster. Yeah.
Says Drew
Oh,
Timmy
yeah,
right now
Jim,
from
Jim had
Gonzaga.
the big, like,
Drew
look,
Timmy. I like the Drew Timmy. Good, and I got
There you go. Yeah, go
That's
Gonzaga's
fine.
ass. Got beat yesterday though. Got beat yesterday by Duke.
Really? Oh well.
Yeah, they got beat yesterday. It's all good. Second game.
Yeah, saw that. Rob, welcome to the show. I don't know if you want to jump in on this pick. We're just finishing up Pittsburgh and Cincy. Cincy's 3.5 at home.
Geez, okay, I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. Cincy, yeah, I kind of, I don't know where you guys are, but I kind of like Cincy after Pittsburgh backdoored that last week.
Just talking about how they screwed me over in my 5 for 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and you drink. It's all your fault. I mean,
We just went over that. Too.
yeah. So, but a lot of sharps I think are taking Pittsburgh here, but I don't really see it. I guess TJ Watt. If TJ Watt's back, I'll be a little bit more hesitant. But if he's out, I kind of like Cincy here in this spot.
No, he's back. He's confirmed back in.
Okay, now so yeah,
He's doing what I did.
He did the same thing. Yeah.
3.5. Is it 3.5 still, or
Yeah,
is it
3.5.
I might lean Pittsburgh then if it's 3.5.
Wow. All right, 2-2. Like, listen, circle this game. Game of the week next to the Jets and Houston Texans.
Yeah. Okay, so let's last 1 o'clock game. Atlanta's taking on Jacksonville. Atlanta coming off that embarrassing loss where they got shut out. -2 at Jacksonville. Seem a bit of a trap game for you guys?
And we got to tell Rob that they moved the Houston Jets game to the Sunday nighter. Did you hear about that, Rob?
It. Yeah, they flexed it. So
it.
if we grab wings tonight, we'll watch that. Tomorrow we'll watch
Look at his face.
Are you guys kidding?
Yeah, we're kidding.
Just kidding.
Look at his face. That's the clip. That's the clip. His face.
Robert Salah.
No, they wouldn't dare do that.
No, but anyways, getting back to the last 1 o'clock game, Atlanta -2 against Jacksonville. Rob, who do you like?
I'm leaning Atlanta here. I think after the loss, it's such a small number. I don't trust Jacksonville. I go Atlanta here.
All right, Igor.
Man, this is again another battle of the Titans over here. Without Tennessee being involved. You know what? The Falcons. I think Matt Ryan is injured. He did not look good. He could barely walk in that Thursday nighter. I think the Jaguars have been playing pretty well. I mean, in the sense that they had that Buffalo victory at home. I'm gonna say the Jaguars win the game. So I'm gonna take them to cover because again they're getting points. But the Falcons they might get Cordell Patterson back, but the Jaguars have been pretty good at home recently. So I'm gonna take the Jaguars to cover.
You know what? That's actually it's actually kind of a smart pick, because their backup quarterback is injured too, AJ McCarron. And you, as you said, Matt Ryan cannot walk. So I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Urban Meyer, 2 thumbs up, right? 2 hands up. Urban Meyer to cover this, plus 2.5 at home. Definitely going to get the win there.
I like Jacksonville here too. All right, let's move on to 4 o'clock. Rob, we'll go to you because Denver's at home, divisional game, taking on the Chargers. Chargers 2.5-point favorites. Do you like your guys?
Before I do my 5 picks, I'm going to have a massive spiel about this whole week that I wanted to open up the show with. But this line makes no sense to me. And yet this is why I'm a Joe. Every pro in the world is on Denver. And I don't know why. I don't see it. I was originally thinking the Chargers are the pick. I'm going to stay away from this. But every pro is hammering the Broncos at 2.5. I'm blown away by it. I don't see it. I think they're outgunned massively at quarterback. I think Bradley Chubb is out again. I don't know how much of a pass rush they're going to have. I don't see it, but the Sharps are all over Denver.
I heard the same thing. Like I was doing my picks, or I was saying the pictures doing my picks even yesterday, and some guy came up to me and I see him right here. He's like, he goes, I heard the pick of the week is Denver. And I looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, where did it? And then he's like, yeah, he goes, I heard everybody's taking Denver. He goes, it's the pick of the week. And I looked at the line and I was like, everybody must be on the Chargers. And so was I. That being said, I'm going to take Denver because I'm going to, I've always been a contrarian. And like I said, the line doesn't make any sense. So I'll take Denver plus the 2.5 because nothing in this game makes sense.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Yeah, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos as well. Why not? Take the Denver Broncos 2.5.
Get the free pick, I'll take it.
There. Yeah, I think they're coming off a really, high emotional game. Now going to Denver in that climate. I'm going to take Denver to take this. Cortland Sutton's going to have at least 3 touchdowns.
Ooh, okay. Igor.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Rob's line of thinking that I thought that the line would be bigger considering. I mean, I know the Broncos are
right. Like, I feel like 4 would be a good number.
the Broncos are coming off a bye and so forth, but like they're definitely outgunned for the most part. But it is a fishy line, and when the line's kind of fishy, like you guys have been saying it, I'm gonna go with the Broncos because it is a little bit weird. Because again, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So. Again, I don't know if the bookies know something that I don't at the end of the day, or there's some kind of, when the Chargers go over there, there's some kind of problem or whatever in that mile high situation. So I'm thinking the Broncos to win the game, but I mean, I don't feel good about it, but it just feels right. I don't know.
I don't get why. Okay, Shelby Harris, starting defensive lineman, out. Kareem Jackson, doubtful, starting player. Mike Purcell, starting player, probable. I'm looking at Bradley Chubb out. Garrett Bowles out. Callahan out, Hamler out. Like it just seems like they have so many injuries. This is a classic where Vegas must know something because this line, there's no business this line being under 2.5 or under 3.
I might be misremembering. I'm pretty is Bosa out for the Chargers because of some COVID thing?
No, he's not.
Been out, I feel, for a while.
Right. I thought I had heard something along those lines last week.
Asante Samuel seems to be the only starter I see out for.
He's been out for a bit though. Yeah.
But he's the only one. Actually, just yesterday he got confirmed out.
Right.
I don't see anybody else though. This line makes no sense. But it is Denver or pass.
Okay, so Denver's due for a big win, man. Denver's due for a win. So this is the one.
I want to say the Chargers are due. Like, I know they won last week, but the Chargers have been another team. After the first 4 games, I feel like they were 3-1 or something, and there was some Super Bowl chatter there, but they've been terrible ever since. Let's move on to another LA team. And, I'm just going to go ahead, press the button, Igor, whatever you got. My lock of the week for this week is going to be the Rams -1.5.
Wow. Whoa.
Wow.
So press that button.
You know what? I got to agree.
I'm going to wave the hat for Rob, and I got the Rams. I got the Rams by the 1.5.
I thought we were done with the hat. I wasn't on the show last week because of the hat.
Because I felt it was the appropriate time.
That was the appropriate time for that.
And I'll get into my reasoning real quick. So I was telling someone, I'm forgetting who, but 2 best teams against the spread all year have been Green Bay and Dallas. I was telling Adam, and both of those teams are going to come back to earth. They were far and away the best teams against the spread. Green Bay, last week it took a miracle, but Green Bay lost. I'm going to go the Rams again, coming off a bye, traveling a bit. I feel like it's a statement game for the Rams because they're coming off embarrassing losses, right? Tennessee, San Fran, had a bye, coach coming back, let's get to work. I think that the Rams are going to win this one, and to be honest, they might win even by a touchdown. I feel like Green Bay, like everything's pretty much wrapped up for them. So that's my spiel, LA Rams lock of the week, and Rob, let's go to you.
I 100% agree. This line opened up at Green Bay -2.5. Now, a lot of the action is on Green Bay, so a lot of the picks are on Green Bay, yet the line is moving towards LA, which tells me that all the pros are hammering the Rams. I agree with everything you said. The handicap is 100% right. I am also going to take it. Green Bay's got a lot of injuries. Aaron Rodgers has, I believe, a toe issue. Not turf toe, but he has a toe issue. And
fracture toe, yeah.
COVID toe.
COVID, yeah. And then against the spread, I look at it and it's like, surprisingly, the Rams are only 4-6 against the spread versus 9-2. Those things tend to even out. Everything is pushing Rams here. I'm also going to jump on with you, Joe, and take the Rams.
Brandon, I know that you were saying Brandon, you were saying Green Bay might win out.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Green Bay would, and then I thought about the toe injury, and it just really swayed everything right now. But I'm gonna say I would. Yeah, you know what? Just to go against the grain, I'm gonna say I'm gonna hammer the Green Bay Packers here, just because I didn't take them last week, and I owe Aaron Rodgers, big time here. So I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers to win at home, and to, obviously OBJ's gonna get flamed. All this stuff's gonna happen. I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers plus 1.5.
Igor, I'm gonna take a picture of your face when Brandon said I owe it to Rodgers.
I listen. I'm going against everyone, my ethics, everyone, my morals, but I'm taking the Green Bay.
It's not bad. Like they're arguably the best team in football, so it's not a bad pick. They're 8-3 going against 7-3. Igor, are you riding me and Rob there with the Rams?
Of course he is.
Well, again, I went with Mr. Ivermectin last week, and he messed me up on my lock of the week.
Ivermectin.
I mean, I actually agree with Joey's line of thinking on this situation. I think the Rams have lost 2 games in a row. If they lose another one, like again 3 straight, I just can't see it. I think they're the healthier team. I saw what Jefferson and Thielen did last week. So again, I'm a little bit worried about that Packers secondary situation. So again, everything to me points that the Rams will bounce back here. That's why I was wondering, my Browns like the Packers are going to run the table. I'm like, they're not going to probably lose two back to back. I think you know what. Usually, they met last year in the playoffs, and Rodgers and Devontae Adams really had their way with Jalen Ramsey and company. But I think the Rams are going to be well rested. They're going to be ready for the game. Probably a revenge situation from the playoffs last year. I think the Rams win the game, and again with a 1.5 situation, I'm taking the Rams to cover. And again, hopefully, that COVID toe doesn't do Rodgers too badly.
Not just Aaron Rodgers out. Bakhtiari, who is one of the best left tackles, out.
He's been out for a while though.
That's huge though. I mean, that's going to be huge. King out or doubtful, and Aaron Jones, I believe, is questionable. Yeah. And I heard he was out. I didn't know he was even questionable. So the only thing that worries me, I don't know about you guys, I hate taking warm weather teams going to
I was going to talk
cold
about
weather.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bugs me about this game.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm sticking with the Packers. I would love to take the Rams, and I think my mind is saying you're an idiot for not taking the Rams, but I think it's one of those games that go against the grain.
Yeah. Igor, you were talking because Rob, you brought up the running back. A.J. Dillon's been pretty good for them.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be solid as well. But Rams defense, and we're actually going to see, drawing a blank, but Rob, your Denver linebacker.
I don't think he's playing.
Von Miller.
Von
Miller didn't make his debut, no?
I think he's still questionable. So.
All right. It's funny because he was actually going to play the day he got traded, and they haven't played since, and now all of a sudden he's injured. But let's move on, guys. We got 3 more games. Let's try and get through. We still have to do our 5. Minnesota going to San Fran. I'm going to stick with San Fran. That was one of my picks last week as well on my spread. With San Fran -7 against Jacksonville. I'm going to take them here -3. I feel like everybody's going to jump on Minnesota this week as well. San Fran hasn't done that good against the spread this year at home. Game they have to win just to keep pace and possibly make the playoffs. So I'll take San Fran -3. Igor, let's go to you.
I like the 49ers here. I think they're finally getting everything. They're getting healthier defensively. Man, Debo Samuel has been a revelation all year. He's been great. Brandon Ayuk, Kittle. I think if Jimmy can manage the game properly, I think it'll be a really entertaining 4:00 game. A lot of points, but I like the 49ers. I think they're starting to catch on that roll. And yeah, they have that roster that I think Rob was mentioning earlier, that it's starting to get healthier, and they're starting to roll a little bit. And yeah, I think they'll win the game. Field goal, I'll take it.
Rob.
I am also going to rock with San Fran, but there are a couple things that worry me. A lot of the sharps are on Minnesota. San Fran, I believe it's been a year since they've covered at home as a home favorite, which is a little worried, but they are getting healthier. The Minnesota defense, which has already had a really bad season. Everson Griffin out, obviously with his issues. Anthony Barr questionable. Pierce out. Danielle Hunter obviously lost a few weeks ago. I think there's a lot of injuries here. I think it's a little inflated because San Fran is coming off that big win. So we're paying a bit of a premium, but I will still take San Fran here.
I don't know. It's tough. Like they beat Jacksonville, right? Like I don't know if anybody consider that a big win. And then Minnesota just beat Green Bay, who's maybe the best team in football.
Yeah, but sorry, before you, San Fran coming off 2 wins. Let's say they lose the last 2 games. Let's say for whatever reason they lose 2 games. Minnesota's the favorite here. I think we're paying like 3 or 4 points of premium. I think this should have been a pick 'em, given that Minnesota's surprisingly statistically been one of the best teams in the league this year. Offensively, 7th ranked. I mean, I think Minnesota's not getting the respect that they deserve. So I think we're paying a bit of a premium here. That's my opinion.
Yeah, their offense is incredible. Defense has been a joke, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Yeah, so 49ers 10-1 against the Vikings in their last 11 home games. FYI, 10-1. The 49ers.
And this is the game. This is the game where my boy Kirk Cousins comes up and shows up. Right, the offense is playing really well. Dalvin Cook's actually running the ball very well. I'm a little bit worried about the defense with all the injuries that they do have, especially with Everson Griffin being out. But I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings, kind of continue the trend of winning and running the ball effectively against that defense. So I'm gonna take Minnesota +3 points there.
Igor, sorry, I thought that you finished. You had San Fran, right?
I did. I'm just letting you know the 10-1 situation with the San Fran and the Vikings.
It couldn't have been recently because San Fran just does not cover at home. as a favorite. It's just unbelievable how
And
this
I'm
team
always
is a
the guy
great
that likes to
dog.
go against trend. Yeah, like
Oh no, 10-1 against the Vikings is what I meant. Not against the spread. 10-1 against
And
the
listen,
Vikings.
Yeah,
they
which
haven't covered against the spread, and they haven't done well against the Vikings, right? So
they haven't played well at home in the first place. They were 1-4 at home, the San Francisco 49ers. So, hey, wait for that trend to continue.
Let's move on to the Sunday nighter. Everybody's favorite quarterback in Cleveland, taking on Baker Mayfield is taking on Lamar Jackson. Lamar's going to play Baltimore -3.5 on Sunday Night Football. To me, it's an easy pick. I like Baltimore -3.5. Their spread record is about 500. Cleveland, I believe, was about the same. Baker's not good when he's healthy. He's not healthy. I'm taking Baltimore at home. Brandon.
Yeah, for this game, I'm going to take Baltimore at home as well too. They have to bounce back. Lamar Jackson's got to play a little bit better. I think this is the game where he always rises up against Baker Mayfield. I don't know what he has against Baker, but he always plays well against the Browns. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to +3.5. Sorry, the 3 points.
-3.5, yeah. And Baltimore escaped Chicago last week, right, with their backup quarterback.
yeah.
They ended
Exactly.
up at the end of the game. So crucial win there. Another one this week. Igor?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Browns are too banged up. A lot of injuries all over the place. I think Baker's going to have a tough time against that defense. Like obviously they're going to try to pound the ball. Kareem Hunt is back for the Browns, so they'll have that two-headed running back situation with Chubb. But I think the Ravens at home are usually quite stout, and Lamar is going to be rested because he didn't play last week because he was dealing with a little bit of a sickness. But yeah, Ravens by a touchdown at least. So Ravens to cover and win.
And Rob?
I'm gonna be contrarian here. I really like Cleveland in this spot. I don't trust Baker Mayfield. I actually kind of hope that Case Keenum is the starter. I heard it today for the first time, and it had never clicked to me. But is there something wrong with Lamar Jackson? And I'm not talking about
sickness,
physical. Like, could this be like for him to miss last week and something's a little funky? Something's going on. And who knows what's going on inside of his mind. I think that the win last week actually hurts Baltimore this week because that was a win they shouldn't have won. So it's almost like they stole a game. It could be a bit of a letdown spot here. I've also never seen this before in the history of football. Cleveland goes Baltimore by Baltimore. So they see Baltimore twice within the next 3 weeks, which is interesting. Baltimore plays Pittsburgh next week. Excuse me.
The division month.
Yeah, it's just really – I've never seen that before. You play a team back-to-back. But Baltimore plays Pittsburgh next week. I think that Cleveland coming off came off a bad performance where they just squeaked by Detroit. I think they're going to be a little bit more focused. And they got blown out by New England a couple weeks ago. I think they're focused. I think they cover this game.
Yeah, so I'll just go through Cleveland's recent games because they've been terrible. So 13-10 win against the Lions. The Patriots beat them 45-7. They beat the Bengals at the Bengals 41-16. I want to say that was OBJ's last game there. Lost at home to the Steelers and then beat the Broncos at home by 3. So they haven't been great. Go ahead.
I think they traded OBJ after the Pittsburgh game. I think the first game he didn't play was the Cincy game.
With Chubb coming back and they're going to chunt this team to death, I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns. I'm actually switching my pick right there because, yes, you're right, Rob. Lamar Jackson does have something going on with the system, and somebody's saying Crohn's disease. People are just throwing around different things. It's really bad, So I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns in this game to cover.
Could be personal, too, where they're covering something up. Maybe something's going on with the girl, some sort of issues. So
yeah, you never know.
The girl, crazy. Wow, that's a curveball.
Could be. You never know. Like, it just –
I just thought he was sick. Like I just thought he was like a cold.
I know they labeled it originally as a non-COVID illness. From what
wasn't he sick a couple weeks ago too? That he missed the game.
But you know what?
Diarrhea.
You guys have a good point though, because I remember they did the same sort of thing with Calvin Ridley, and then Ridley ended up coming out with all that mental health stuff. So maybe you're right. Maybe there's more to it. It is really weird that usually guys play through little like sniffles and stuff like that, or like a cold. But maybe you guys are onto something. I hope not. I got him in fantasy. I need him to play.
This guy played through the shits on Monday night against Cleveland. Yeah. Remember last year when he was like in and out of the – I mean –
that wasn't –
he denied it. He denied it.
You know what it was? It was like it's Matt Nagy and the Bears. Like, well, let's take a week off. We'll win anyways. And that's exactly what they did.
Exactly what they did.
Yeah, and Tyler Huntley was manageable, I guess, last week too, right? He's a bit of a similar quarterback. He can use his legs, but yeah, you guys are kind of scaring me now. I'll stick with Baltimore, but
I'll stick with Baltimore.
Definitely not going to have this in my 5. Last game, Monday nighter is Seattle taking on Washington. Washington's a 1-point favorite. This is one of those games I feel like it is. You ask a bunch of people, you'll probably get half this way and half another. That being said, Igor, we'll let you lead off.
I'm gonna go with the football team. I don't think Russell Wilson is right. I think Heineke's actually been pretty manageable the last few weeks, and he's actually been pretty good. So I think the Seattle defense is, have been troublesome at times, but with Wilson still dealing with that finger, I think they pretty much know at 7 losses already that the season's kind of over. I don't think they really have any shot of making the playoffs unless they really run the table. So I'm going to take the football team to actually get a win at home and get that done. I mean, it's a very manageable spread. I'll take, Gibson and the boys.
Rob?
I think Metcalf is questionable as well to not play.
Yeah.
Really, until we don't know. I don't know about Russell's hand. I think I said it last week that it just something's not right here. I mean, he was outplayed by Colt McCoy by, I think McCoy outthrew him by like 150, 160 yards. Seattle's offensively, defensively, one of the worst statistical teams in the league. They actually are 30th and 31st, which is like Jets-esque to be that bad in both categories. I hate betting against Seattle because I bet against them twice and they killed me, and I bet on them twice and they killed me. So I'm also with Washington, but very reluctantly. I don't like betting Seattle because they're a team that just seems to cover when they're not supposed to, and then they don't when they should.
Yeah. And Carson's obviously out for the year as well. Brandon?
Yeah, you know what? Someone's going to go. Pete Carroll or Russell Wilson. But with that said, I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf was actually cleared to play in this game, so I need him in fantasy as well too. No, I think the finger is messed up, of course, for Russell. The defense is playing very bad, but I just don't trust Tyler Heineke and these guys to actually run the table and actually beat these guys convincingly. So I'm taking the Seahawks to win this game outright with the +1 point. A lot of underdogs this week.
Yeah, like if Russ is healthy, we're having a different conversation. I think it's having an effect on him throwing the ball, especially downfield. He's one of the best deep ball throwers in the league. I know the Washington's defense is terrible, especially their secondary, and Chase Young is out. But I'm going to take Washington in this one just to kind of eke it out there, -1. I'll take them. So that's going to wrap up the games, guys. We'll get into our 5-pack. I'll go first, give you guys a few seconds to get to yours. And so I wrote down a few games. I'm looking at them now. I'm kind of scared because I have both New York teams in it, and that's usually a recipe for disaster.
Very bad.
Rob, I was saying before you came on, one of my picks of the week is the Giants, and to be honest, I figure whenever you figured a team out, you have to fade that. And I feel like everybody now is like, Philly's got it. They have everything going for them, and they might still win the game. But I really like the Giants -3.5, so I'll keep them in there. Rams, of course. -1.5 is going to be in there. I added Denver. And the only reason I added Denver when we were talking was because I'm very scared. I'm very anxious about all the talk about all the sharps taking them because that game looks way too easy as well. So I'll throw Denver in there. So I have Giants, Rams, Denver. I'm going to take Jacksonville because I think Matt Ryan's not right. And I think that Jacksonville's going to win this game. And then I was going to take the Jets. Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to cross them out. I'm going to take Tampa as my other team because I need a favorite. I'll take Tampa -3. So Tampa, Denver, Rams, Jacksonville, and Giants. Anybody ready to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Igor.
I'm going to take my Patriots -7. The Jaguars to win the game, and then I guess they're +2. The Texans, 2.5 favorites over the Jets. I'll take the Rams over the Packers at 1.5. And I will take the Ravens 3.5 over the Browns.
So you got New England, Jacksonville, Houston, Rams, Baltimore?
Yeah.
All right, Brandon?
I'm going to take the Houston Texans. First time taking Houston all year. They better to be right into the 2.5 points to favorites. I'm going to take the Patriots. I'm really believing in the Patriots these days. I'm going to take a Patriots for 7 points. The Philadelphia Eagles. They've gotten me a lot of money these past few weeks. I'm going to ride with Jalen Hurts and my boy Sirianni there in Philadelphia. So my Philadelphia Eagles we got there. I'm not going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that something's going to go wrong if I take them. I don't want to have bad luck for the rest of my life. So I'm not going to take them. I think the Minnesota Vikings, +3 points there against San Francisco. The Green Bay Packers against the Rams at home as well, too. I think that's 3. That's 3, right?
I got 5. Right? Houston, New England, 5. Philly, Minnesota, Green Bay.
There we go. Yeah, that was my 5.
All right. Rob.
I didn't get to handicap a lot of the early ones. I completely agree with Philly. I thought that was a bad spot for New Orleans last week. But
yeah.
Before I go, I wanted to do a little spiel. I don't know about you guys. I've been betting a long time. I can't remember the last time in week 12?
Week 12.
12, yeah.
The spreads were this small. Normally we have games where these are like week 1, week 2 lines where we don't know about a lot of the teams. And as someone who likes to play a lot of points, I like to take dogs. This is a really bad week to listen to me, especially considering I was 3-0 on Thursday with my picks. So I got all my luck out of the way. This is a bad week for me to pick. So I'm basically throwing darts at a dartboard this week, full disclosure. That being said, I will take the Rams -1.5. I'll take the Giants +3.5. I agree with you, Joe. And Philly, I don't think there is. I think everybody's going to jump on them. I'm going to take Indy +3. Now that it's at 3, I'm going to get a field goal. This could be big time upset alert on that one. I'm going to take Cleveland at 3.5 over Baltimore.
Yep.
And the last one, Joe, help me out here. Grab the hat. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans to cover. I think this is an over. Yep. All right.
I never thought this would happen. I never thought it would happen.
Guys, this is a moment in history right now.
That is wild.
We are week to week, and this week I am loving the Titans. I think that line's overinflated. I think everybody's on New England, as we can see, everybody taking them at 7 points. I think this is the Titans spot, and I wouldn't be surprised if Titans win this football game.
Rob Joyce, my Saturday. My weekend is complete.
The Titans are the team that plays well against good teams and then loses to the bad teams.
That's what I was saying before you came on. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with the hat. I'm no longer referring them as the Titans. They are the hat to me.
They are the hat. All right.
The hat.
Well, Joe and Igor ball. Circle this game.
So even with like Brown and Julio and no Henry, you're still thinking they're going to score enough points, huh?
Interesting. It makes no sense. But
right,
I also have another theory that Bill Belichick loves Mike Vrabel, and that this is a guy he's not going to try and run the score up on. He's going to try and win by a field goal. I think there's something to this where I think Belichick sends messages. This is not a week that he's going to send a message. If they win, I think it's within 7.
And Brandon was saying it's to Vrabel 2-0 against.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do we have records for the season yet, or are we still just we're?
We don't. We have week to week records.
Week to week, we
let's
dominated.
go back. I think
we had a week last week.
Yeah, we had a week last week.
So going back to last week, Rob, you had Seattle.
I was 4-1, I believe.
Yeah, Seattle, Minnesota covered, Chicago covered the line that we had it at, Houston covered, and Philly covered. So you went 4-1. I also went 4-1. I had Houston, Minnesota, Indy +7, Chicago +6, and then the Chargers, like I said, did me dirty at the end there. Brandon, you had Chargers, yes. Cowboys, no. Cincy, no. Cincy, yes.
Yes.
Philly, yes. Minnesota, yes. So was that a 4-1 for you as well?
Yeah, 4-1 for me. Finally.
3-2.
Wow.
You got Chargers and Cowboys wrong. So you had 3.
Damn it.
And then Igor's picks were Green Bay, not a cover, Philly a cover, Giants not a cover, Chargers not a cover, and Detroit. Detroit did. So Igor had 2 and 3, Brandon 3 and 2, me and Rob 4.
Pretty good weeks.
Not bad. Everybody's Igor did manage the 500, but everybody else had a good one. Guys, locks for the week. I'll go first. I'm going Rams. Rams minus the 1.5. It's going to be my lock of the week.
Oh, wow.
Anybody ready to go? Just jump in.
I had my Patriots as my lock of the week, but now Rob's got me.
Rob's scaring you now.
Screw it. I'm gonna go with my Pats minus the 7. Let's go.
Igor, you got to break your trend. I feel like you haven't nailed the lock of the week in a long time.
Exactly. I gotta have it at a home game at least. And then they're so injured, it would be a bad loss, especially if they lost. I'd be pissed.
It's gonna be a bad loss.
Yeah, my heart's telling me to take the Cincinnati Bengals at 3.5 against Pittsburgh at home, but I'm gonna go with the Eagles. The past 2 weeks, the Eagles have done me right. I'm gonna go with the Eagles to lock 3.5 in, I believe, oh my gosh, the Meadowlands, whatever the fuck it's called, against the Giants. So I'm gonna take the Eagles for my block. Yeah.
Rob,
I like a lot of these picks now.
And go Tennessee for your lock of the week.
And then we split. I don't want to do Igor dirty like that, because that means I think all of our locks should want to win. So I'm going to stay away from Tennessee.
Good luck.
And I like the I do like the Rams. You know what? Let me go contrarian here. I'm going to go Indy. I'm going to go crazy in that they beat Tampa Bay, or at least cover the 3. Another game that the line doesn't make sense. I know Tampa hasn't done well on the road.
You pick that line up.
Over a field goal for sure. I mean, it just, I would say like 4.5, just the 3. And it was been hovering at 2.5 for basically the longest time. I know Indy's like hot right now. Everybody's all over them, and they might, can they win that division?
That's what I was saying. I was saying, and I said they can win the division. If Tennessee loses this week to New England, they make up another game there. Division standings right now, Tennessee's still the number 1 seed somehow.
Yeah.
8-3 against 6-5, so it is doable.
They're game back.
It's doable.
If they.
But Tennessee does have a very easy schedule.
No, I don't think they got a bye.
Tennessee has
Jacksonville, and then they got Miami, Houston on the schedule. I think Tennessee's way, and they have the tiebreaker of beating them already twice, I believe. I don't see them coming back unless the Colts go on a crazy tear.
That comeback killed them. The Tennessee win over Indy the last time when I believe they were up by like 14.
Yeah, the Colts got, let's see, they got Tampa, Houston. That should be a win. They play New England. They got at Arizona. I'm assuming, and then Vegas. They don't have that easy of a schedule. So I would say that the Titans pretty much have that all locked unless they really blow it.
But look at the Titans. The Titans' losses are to Houston, the Jets, and who they lose to first week. I think they lost to Arizona. Arizona was the one good. They've beaten a lot of good teams like Buffalo, right. KC, Indy, Rams, New Orleans. Like they've beaten some good. I wouldn't look at the schedule for this team.
Respect on this podcast.
Yeah, they had the strongest schedule, like rated the strongest schedule, and they went through them. They ran the table against most of those teams.
And then the bad
like
teams.
I said, they just don't do well. It's 2 things. They don't do well against bad teams. But Rob, before you came on, I was saying, and we saw this with the Saints this week. Saints missed 2 running backs, a bunch of the third string quarterback, I guess, whatever you want to say with Simeon. But it's tough to win games when a Hall of Famer Julio Jones is out. He's always out, and then AJ Jones out as well. Their third or fourth string wideout went down. Their best running back in the game is out. It's easier to kind of look at those as losses, but you can't excuse losses to those teams. But it does make a little bit more sense when you say.
I don't think their defense got enough respect for the season. I like Kevin Barrett. I really like him, and Simmons. I really like too. Everybody said this was an awful defense. I think they're like
it was awful for the first 7 weeks or whatever. Right?
I think but they have personnel. I think they're slightly below average. I don't think they were as bad as people said.
Yeah, they're a mediocre defense that has their times.
You don't get to 8-3 with a bad defense.
Exactly.
So,
any last thoughts, boys, before we wrap this up?
I think I'm 2-0 the past 2 weeks for my lock of the weeks. Shout to the Eagles.
My locks have been terrible, so I'm hoping I don't get my boys.
Brandon, you had Green Bay the week before, so yes, because Green Bay.
Hold on, so what was Rob's lock at the end of it?
Right.
Rob's lock was Indy.
Indy, okay.
Plus 3. So locks the week, Indy plus 3. Brandon has Philly minus 3.5. Igor has New England minus 7. I have Rams minus 1.5.
Ooh, it should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be really good. Really cool. Whoever loses, if everyone goes, if someone loses and everyone else goes undefeated, that person should buy everyone wings.
I mean, I was pretty good at Jay.
Like,
I thought Jay had it in the bag until that last like 7 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Man, the betting gods owe me so much, and Rob talked about it when we were chatting. It's just I do really well. It's just one game ends up costing me, and everybody can say that. It was nice to actually hit something last week. But yeah, generally speaking, I've been pretty good. Maybe what we'll do this week, since I don't know if the 5's coming. If anybody a standalone best week, if you go 4, to get it, we have to have some kind of prize.
I love
it. Yeah, I like that.
And can we get some season standings going?
Yeah, man, come on.
Like you've got to
He's gonna get the calculator up for like 11.
Yeah, like we're gonna need a math professor to come do this to figure out how we're 12 weeks behind.
Down, so I'll pull that out.
Hey, Jay, what did you get that hat? That's an interesting hat.
So I told you guys I go on football trips every year with the fam. Right, last year was the first one we didn't go. So every hat I've picked up, I have another one like this. I don't like to wear too much, even though I feel it's a bit nicer. It's Cowboys. I got the Cowboys one in Dallas. This one I got in Tennessee. And whenever I found that, I was like, those are some damn beautiful. This one's a little bit like a helmet. It's got like the stripe and everything down it. Now this year throws everybody off at the front.
You should burn that Cowboys. You should burn that Cowboys.
Yeah, burn the Cowboys.
I might actually mail it to Skip Bayless, ask him to come off the pod or something.
I saw him crying on Thursday after that Raiders game.
Yeah, that's what happens. Ernestine's not making him feel good, man. It's all Ernestine, his wife. That's the reason.
Still sitting in first place though.
Poor Ernestine.
For Ernestine, then. All right, we're good.
All right, boys. Everybody, good luck on your picks, and we'll chat again next week. Have a good show.
All right, guys. Good luck.